I'm Monette Bebow-Reinhard, and I am here today in the basement of the Wisconsin Historical Society to introduce you to the wonderful world of pre-contact copper artifacts. Now, I first got introduced myself back in, around 2007, when I heard that the copper burial ground, oldest copper burial ground in the country, was in my backyard, basically, in Oconto County. So I volunteered there, and the next year they made me curator for 3 years. I worked at the Oconto County Burial Museum, and in that process, I came to realize that copper was not being given the attention that it deserved as the oldest metal industry in this country. We're talking 10,000 years ago, they started tooling in copper. Now, what I decided to do then was, because I had seen this collection, you're going to see in a minute, I decided to start compiling the copper I saw into spreadsheets by location. I wanted to know what was found where, because then I figured we could track the civilizations that were in the country before Columbus. So what I did was I got interested in this fellow right here, Henry Hamilton. Hamilton's database was what got me started. Hamilton, in the late 1800s, started collecting copper. He was from Two Rivers, Wisconsin, which became known as a copper village because of all of the copper that was coming out of the ground there. And Henry started gathering it himself, and then he started buying it from other people so that he could get all of the copper in one place. Henry was ahead of his time. He wasn't an archaeologist, he was a businessman, but he understood the need to have a location on each and every piece of where it was found. So he was really pivotal in starting this particular project that I started and that I got involved in. So in Two Rivers then, we have a huge copper village, Manitowoc County, and from there he just got pieces from all over the place, and you're going to see more of that in a minute. Now, Henry Hamilton collected and compiled his database until about 1919 when he died, and he died rather mysteriously. Now, if you can imagine a man back then gathering over 2,000 artifacts of copper that are coated with the green arsenic, the arsenic coating that comes with age of copper. Look at a copper penny. You might see a little greening on it. That kind of thing can cause arsenic poisonings, and he died of a mysterious ailment. They never really figured it out, so it's possible his love actually killed him. Now, copper, Wisconsin has more copper artifacts than any other state. Why? Well, one reason. The copper came from this area up here. The glaciers came down, and if you want to zoom in on that map, the glaciers came down and pulled the copper from this area right down through Wisconsin. So the first copper tools were made from what they call flowed copper. This area right here, direct path of the glaciers and the picking up the copper and pulling it down. So Wisconsin, I have what I call the CAMD, Copper Artifact Master Database. I have 4 spreadsheets just for Wisconsin. One of those spreadsheets is for Manitowoc County. Manitowoc County is where Two Rivers is. Manitowoc County is where Henry Hamilton got most of his material. Manitowoc County has its own spreadsheet. No other county does. Okay. But Wisconsin has 4 spreadsheets of over 20,000 artifacts. Now, my database is only up to 64,000 artifacts from Canada all the way down into South America. Location is so important. We can track the trade of these people. Now let's take a look at some of Henry Hamilton's artifacts that are displayed down here in the basement of the Wisconsin Historical Society. You're going to see, and you can just focus on scanning down the wall, focus on what you see. You see points, all kinds of different shapes of points. Now these have been typed by Witchery, and I have an updated typology of these points based on what I found in the database. We have all kinds of points. Now if we can focus on what's in the one next to the points, we have celts, spuds, we have knives, the awls, we have all of these artifacts that Henry Hamilton gathered, and he has a database and the Wisconsin Historical Society created a database to organize these by location. But on these walls, and come back this way, on these walls, we can see what they are, but not where they were found. Can you look at any of these and tell me which ones are found in Manitowoc County? No, you cannot. That's what the database is for. I have gone to over 300 museums and collectors, and I have got their databases, and I've combined all of that with Hamilton by location. So I have them by state, by county, by town if I have them. And it's and you can have one county with 5, 6, 7, 8 different places where these are located. How are you going to know how big this industry was if all of these artifacts stay buried in some museum somewhere? Now, this display is very nice, isn't it? It's very attractive. But what good is it doing you to see what they look like? You can see what they look like, but you don't know where any of these were from. Now, if you look down to the end of the room here, we're going to see a state collection where the Wisconsin Historical Society actually has them by state, which is good. But in the other one, it's not divided by location at all. And I tried to get them to do that. I actually offered to go for a grant to reorganize these walls, to make them really valuable, but they weren't interested in that. So really that's what I'm introducing you to. I'm introducing you to the Copper Artifact Master Database and the work that I'm doing and the value that it could have to you. If you're a researcher, if you're a collector, if you're just an anthropologist, if you just want to know more about what's in your backyard, then you should contact me and ask me your questions and ask me what you'd like to see in a video and tell me where I should be going with this. You can email me. I'm back. You can email me at moberein@yahoo.com. And I will answer your questions. And I can furnish you data, but you can also furnish me any copper you've found to add to the databases. That's so important. That is the most important thing. We need to preserve this so that we can see how big this industry was. Now, one of the coming documentaries I'm going to be doing a series of these, and one is to explode the myth of copper tooling. And there's a number of them, and I will do that one in a short while. But for now, email me. I'd love to hear from you. Oh, and if you're ever in Green Bay, do stop in at the Copper State Brewing Company off Broadway and tell them I said hi. Thanks for your time.
Give the email address again.
Oh, one more time for the email address is moberein@yahoo.com. Thanks. Appreciate your time.